Hi everyone, I'm Rachel, and in this tutorial, I'll show you how to color a gorgeous sunset using the Color Therapy app. Some of the best sunsets are ones reflected over water. In this image, I blacked out the foreground so it would look like a silhouette. This also helps to focus the eye on all of the colors of the water. If you want to follow along with the image I'm using, go into the Classic tab, select Places, then you want to scroll down to Island Vacation, and it's going to be the 5th image down. So the first step in this image is to basically black out everything in the foreground. So what I did was I colored in the palm trees, the birds, the hammock, and everything else in the foreground. Now we're ready to do the sunset and the sky and the colors in the water. So let's open up our color palette. We're set to the basic mode right now. And go under the nature palette and then select sunset and make sure it's set to solid. And I'm going to select the first 3 colors here. So it's a really dark purple, a regular violet color, and then a pale orange. So I'm gonna do those 3. And back in the palette, I'll also choose this blue here. And one more time in that palette, this time set it to gradient, and then choose the second color, which is a purple to a reddish orange color. So I'll begin by taking that color we just chose, the purple gradient, to the reddish orange, and change the gradient to a light to dark. So red is going to be at the top, purple at the bottom. And right now we're just going to tap to fill in all of the waves with that color. The sky will also be the same color, but this time we will switch the gradient. So now it's going to be mirroring the ocean. And this will create a base color for our picture. Now going back into the color palette, go under ombre, select the orange ombre, and let's grab one of those gradient light, really pale yellows to white, and then just tap to fill in the sun where the lightest part of the gradient is at the top. Now before I start with the colors of the sunset on the water, I want to grab a few more colors. So under ombre, select red ombre, and select solid, and then grab the second red, it's a really bright red. So in this image, we're going to use 2 different tools. We'll use the AIRBRUSH tool for smooth areas, then we'll also use the marker tool for more texture. Let's begin by selecting the manual mode, and I'm going to select AIRBRUSH this time, and I'm going to lower opacity down to about 50%, and then I'll select that blue, that nice deep navy blue we have, and we're going to add in some color into the upper areas of the sky. And first, I'll make sure that the coloring inside the lines mode is on. And I'm just gonna start adding sort of just like a few strokes going sideways in the sky. And this is just adding some detail with the color. You can also reflect it into the water a little bit if you want. So to do that, just add it to the far left and right edges of the water. Then I'll select that really dark purple we have there using the same mode. And I'll just add a little more of that color, but up and mostly in the corners, so the furthest corners away from the sun. So it basically is going to add even more focus on the sun. So I'm adding it into the waves as well. Now I want to lower the size of the airbrush to about 50%. And we're going to add in a little bit of clouds here and there using the same color. And those will be kind of randomly placed. And they can be any size, shape, length. And then again, lower the size one more time, this time to about 15%. And we're going to actually bring clouds into the sun. So we want to turn their coloring inside the lines mode to off and bring some little clouds into the sun across from each side. Now I want to select the marker tool this time to get some texture. So select marker. We want the size to be about 25% now, and the opacity 100. And we're really going to pump up those clouds now. And yeah, I am coloring over the palm trees, that's okay. We will fix that up later, we'll just color it black again. Okay, now let's select the bright red color that we have, and then back to the airbrush tool. And this time we want to lower the size down to 5% and the opacity down to 50. So now we'll start putting in the details. So what you want to do is add that red color underneath the clouds. So all the bottom areas of the clouds, you can add it there. So I'm bringing in the color across the sun a little bit. Now let's add a little bit of yellow in there. So under the nature palette, select sunset one more time and grab a solid yellow. So we're going to add that into the water as a reflection, and I want to raise the opacity to 85 now. And I'll start adding tiny little brush strokes into the water, going from the left to the right, little strokes, following in the path of the sun. So all of them will be coming straight down like that. And then to add even more detail, follow the lines on top of the water and just sketch in some of the color using tiny short strokes, just on the top of each wave. Now you want to take that same idea and carry it into the rest of the water. So the colors that are above the right side of the water in the sky, you can select them with your pencil and bring them down into the water there as well. And you'll continue with the same idea in the rest of the coloring. Here's the final version of the sunset tutorial after I've removed the lines and added the watercolor effect over it. You can apply these same techniques using other colors in your images too, depending on the mood you want to accomplish. If you'd like to see more tutorials like this, don't forget to subscribe to the Color Therapy YouTube channel so you don't miss any new tutorial videos. Thanks for watching our tutorial. You can get the Color Therapy app for free on the App Store.